For Developing World, we were asked to watch a video called Time for School Part 3, and then just pretty much say what our thoughts were and how we felt about it. So I thought this video was really cool because it was really interesting to look at the perspective of each country and just to see how different and um, how each country had different needs, but also had different were given different opportunities. So, for example, China, um, it was just interesting to see that the statistics said that nearly 100% of the population of kids were in school. And so, I don't know, it was just interesting to see that it was so important for them and that literally every child was, before even the first grade, was given an opportunity to go to school, which was really cool. Um, in Afghanistan, how the school for girls, it was very, very sad to see that the Taliban was very against women going to school and that they would actually burn down these church schools and beat the teachers or even the students for going. So going to school out of fear would be very, very hard for like a girl to even want to go to school. But it was really, really admirable that Shagafa still had such a strong desire to go to school and that she wanted to continue her education even if it meant the Taliban was going to come. And so living out of fear would be very, very hard for that girl. I liked the quote that they said during the Afghanistan part. He said, education is an obligation of every person, male or female. Which was interesting because usually girls back then would just do the housework. And the guys would just do nothing, which is so weird to me. And I guess it's just kind of like part of our culture where it's just girls were expected to cook and clean and the guys just, I guess, brought home the money, but then again, there's no money, so I don't know what they would do. In Brazil, it was interesting to see that they were given money if their children would stay in school. So you can see from Afghanistan to Brazil how in Brazil it's very important for these kids to go to school because if not, then they would go on the street and then they would start selling drugs and become whores, and that's not what they wanted. And so they knew that school was going to be the best influence on them. Whereas in Afghanistan, they beat people and burn down schools if they even tried to go to school. It was just interesting. In India, the girl in India, it was so hard. It was hard to see her not even have the opportunity to go to school. How her parents weren't even for it. They pretty much just, it was just like a night thing, which is so hard for me to understand because that girl was going through so much work, and then having to go to school at night, and then not getting that much sleep, and then next day do it all over again, and yet she still liked it. I think that would get old so fast. And then her being taken away for a couple months and her not being able to get her education, I can totally see how she was just really discouraged in seeing that she was in a grade with a bunch of younger kids. Like, that would be hard even today. I mean, to be in a 5th grade class as a 19-year-old, I would not want to do that at all either. So that's just sad to see that. Again, the boys don't do anything. They don't do any housework. They just play. And they get an education. And the girls have to juggle housework and an education. So it would be hard to see that. But something I noticed from all these 3 countries, these poorer countries, is that they all wanted to be school teachers as their profession, which was really interesting because it's like school really did interest them enough to want to just to teach it and to be a part of it and around it more often. And each child said they wanted to be a school teacher. So I guess though there's not very many professions in these countries, but it just shows that these kids, even though they don't have a lot, they do really like school, and just kind of helps me open my eyes. Like, I don't like school, but there's a lot of people who don't get this opportunity, and I should be really grateful, and I should take advantage for it, especially if I have the means to pay for it and to um, do something with it in the future. And so I just think that's really interesting, and I also liked how their goal by 2015 was that every child was going to give the opportunity to have free primary education, which is definitely, I think, a very good thing, because this is the start of education where they can either see, just like given the first opportunity, because many people won't want to go to school if they've never like even tried it, but these kids, once they start going to school, they do love it. And so I think that's the best thing that they need, is they just need that first initial education, that first start. So this was a really interesting video, and I'm really glad I was able to watch it and learn a lot from it.